Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Toppers Talk. And today we have Arpanjot with us. Hi Arpanjot, कैसे हो
Hi,
बच्चे?
ma'am. It's going good, like Saturday morning with projects going on. But yeah, it's good to be there.
तो बच्चा आप अपना इंट्रोडक्शन देंगे प्लीज?
So yeah, hi everyone. I'm Arpanjot Kaur and I have taken my start in 2023. It's December 2022. And I've secured AR 19 in CLAT. And along with that, I had written ALET too. And in ALET, I have secured AI 70. And I am from Punjab, but like both from Punjab and Chandigarh. Currently, my family is based in Chandigarh, so mix of Punjab and Chandigarh vibes.
So this complete change from north to south, how is it?
At the beginning, I mean, for me, I was really excited to be explore other parts of India. Being very true, when I started my class preparation, I used to speak to my parents that I don't want to be like limited to Punjab, or though I was getting an opportunity to be in NLU Delhi, my reason was like I want to explore other parts of India. So I was kind of excited when I was like in the way of traveling, right? But yeah, reaching there, it was kind of big shift for a while. But yeah, I think it's more like I'm used to be like with a lot of people, so it's pretty good.
So you told you were offered NLUD as well as NLSIU, right?
Yes,
So how
ma'am.
did you decide कि किस में जाना है?
Okay, so basically at the moment it was kind of funny because both of them are equally good, right?
Yeah.
Both NLS Bangalore and NLU Delhi, and even my family was oriented towards like NLU Delhi. Obviously, Delhi is near to my hometown and all. Like you should prefer NLU Delhi,
Mhm.
but for me, basically, the day I started my preparation, it was like NLS Bangalore, the top law school of India, and then again, I mentioned like I really wanted to be away from my hometown. I suppose myself to be a child who has always lived with my parents, and I really wanted to like grow as an independent person. So again, that was one of the factors which contributed for me choosing NLS Bangalore.
Okay. So did you give CLAT with 12th or did you take drop?
I was a fresher. I gave my CLAT with 12.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I've taken humanities for 11th and 12th, so it is basically both 12th and
So when your CLAT paper might have happened, so उस time पे तो sudden change आया था. Just 6 months to CLAT, right? So
yeah.
how did you balance that?
Okay. So, first of all, like I was in the field of preparing CLAT, so most of my preparation I started preparing on my own, right? So I was in the field since like 1 year, but yeah, this sudden change, like earlier, it was like 3K mein you can have time, you can prepare later on, right? You can focus on other subjects first. But that sudden change at once was like, I can't do CLAT now.
Hmm.
I can't do boards now. Like, what would happen of me? That was the sudden impression I had. Like, it took time to sink in. But yeah, I think the most important factor in my preparation journey was my friends as well as my parents. They had been supportive at all the end. Like, I think they were more uh, confident about me rather than I was a person. So it was more about like, obviously, it was same for everyone over there. It even like now I talk to people as well as a shift pattern. So some people do call me like this is how shall we do flat and like they have suddenly changed. So it feels like even I was in that situation at that moment. It feels like it's something extraordinary happening with me. But yeah, everything is everyone is in the same pitch. So I think that my parents and friends like they had to like get me into that pitch that everybody is going through the same situation. So that's how like then
How did you
started.
balance school and CLAT
So the
together?
biggest factor in balancing my school and class was like my class in charge. She really helped me. She was a blessing for me to like be with her. I would mention her name. She's like different with her, and I used to somewhere like stuck between what shall I do? Like I have obviously we have midterms and then unit tests and then like pre-boards and boards and all. And at moments I used to get stuck like how do I manage? And I think it's more about when you are preparing for CLAT, you have done a lot of reading, especially being from humanities ground. I think humanities, I think CLAT prepares a lot for humanities background. You're going through a lot of sectionals in which you're studying about history stuff, studying about literature stuff. It's more it often picked from those things supposed to study so in humanities classes. It was more like I used to get like 1 or 2 hours within my day to some it was more like I had my priority as CLAT, so that wasn't much issue for me. In case I had to choose between CLAT or my exams or something at the moment, my preference was for CLAT. So again, and then my teachers were so cooperative, so that's how it was quite convenient for me.
Okay. So as you got selected in Super 30, right?
Yes.
So how was your journey with Legal Edge?
Okay, so basically, I was just wondering to join LegalEdge because heard a lot about LegalEdge mocks and I had written my Super-30 and there was some time for the results to be declared. And I was on the way from school to home when I was just calling my father that I need to buy this like text videos of LegalEdge and with, I don't expect myself to crack Super-30, but immediately 10 minutes after that, I received a call that you have been selected for Super-30. So then beginning with the classes, I think I got a new way of looking towards CLAT, like a lot of students sharing their problems and then teachers discussing like what can be the solution. And I really felt that this questions were really practical in the sense like the solutions afforded were really practical. So at that moment it was not like we are not in CLAT fields, but there were some particular issues which we were not able to identify even like what's happening with us. So I think that was questions in the class about like and then sessions with like currents were about CR. Those were really helpful. Like throughout my journey, I struggled a lot with CR, but then getting to know that other people are also stuck in the same stage, and then people giving me genuine impression of what like it to be like, and then I think that was more about my uh mental solid side of like I was doing good, but it was more about I was not confident at all. So that gave me quite confidence to like I can do it. And then after that, I formed really good friends with him, like Super-30, those who are there with me and it's like lifelong friendship.
Law school life, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as we know, CLAT as a journey बहुत सारे ना phases में होती है, मतलब some good phases, some bad phases. So how, when you had your good phases, how you dealt with that, and when you had your bad phases, आप उससे कैसे cope up कर पाए?
So basically, the problems I faced was majorly completing the GK part because GK is something you kind of have backlogs at the moment, and at the same time, you have a lot of stuff to cover. Like it's not like you can just rely on single thing. You have to cover up the newspaper, and then you have to go through the notes provided by LegalEdge, right? We used to get that monthly compendium, and then you have to get used to like what questions are being asked in the mocks paper, and you have to keep on revising the newspaper, the notes you have built up on the notes provided by LegalEdge, and the questions being asked in mocks. So it was more like I was stuck between ki kaise karna hai, how to do like GK thing. And other issue I faced was CR. I till the end of the exam, I used to fluctuate a lot between CR scores. It was not just like fluctuations in score, it was fluctuations within the percentile even. So I think it was more like it was I think 1 month before the exam itself, I was like, CR तो सही नहीं जा रहा है पेपर में CR would come difficult and I am just going to get I'm not going to crack CLAT. And at that moment again, as I mentioned, it was more like my parents used to talk to me and then my friends, like they knew me very well, like what I'm going through. So it was more like they tried to help me out with everything. So again, another thing I would request everyone who is listening out, guys, please don't consider that just going for CLAT starting 24/7 would kind of help you. I went through this like mental thing like हाँ मुझे 24/7 पढ़ना ही है, but that's not at all a solution. Go for anything you like in your life. Go for dance, go for swim, whatever you like, but there should be something you can rely upon. Like CLAT is just a part of life, it's not life at all.
What are your suggestions for the 12th graders as you also cleared CLAT with 12th?
Okay, so for 12th graders, like basically, first of all, you have to prioritize in case it's more like you think कि तुमसे 12th नहीं हो पाएगा या फिर if you would be focusing more on CLAT, so if, especially talking about humanities students, right? Do you think that अगर CLAT में ध्यान दिया तो you would miss classes or you would miss the concepts discussed in classes? It's more about even if you would go through the books, you will understand the things. It's not like you can suffer if you're doing CLAT. You're doing a lot of readings in the CLAT and everything. So it's more like be confident, form your strategy, give fixed number of hours for your school studies within the day, and prioritize rest of your part for your CLAT preparation. And again, you would have a lot of midterms and pre-boards and all. But remember, the thing is like boards are something which would always count upon in your life. But midterms and all, it's just for your preparatory field. So utna hi prepare karo that you should not suffer with what you have to do for CLAT. And even during there are scenarios where you have exams on daily basis, you don't get time to prepare in advance. So within those days, even at least try to go through your newspaper, complete your GK stuff. Don't get huge backlog for that. So make some necessary tasks, even if you're stuck within like very hard days of your school. Make some necessary tasks which you need to cover, like you need to read newspaper whatever happens within your day, you need to revise your GK whatever portion of your GK has been decided, and even if you have exams you need to attempt mock attempt is nothing, you can't compromise on that. Like even if you have any family function arranged, please attempt one mock per week and analyze that really well. Okay, so it's more about attempting mocks, completing your GK, and yeah, that's all. And then prioritize CLAT and the subject. It's don't consider like your teachers are going to punish you if you're scoring less in pre-boards. They try to talk to them, they will understand your situation.
Okay, so as you talked about mocks, so how was your experience with LE mocks?
Okay, LEmocks. I at the times I used to hate the legal section. Like as like मेरा legal section was some when I started writing LegalEdge mocks. So within legal section at that moment, legal section was of like 40 marks, and I used to score 9, 10, 11. That was the range I was stuck within. And before that, it was more like the mocks I had attempted were more to the like easy towards the easy ends, and then shifting to LEmocks, I got a kind of view like still I need to prepare a lot, right? And then that moment I think I started writing mocks every week of LE, and I started analyzing them really well. I started going through the video analysis sessions like which are being provided on the portal itself, like where am I going wrong, what are the teachers using their strategy, what is their strategy, like how are they going through the passage, and where am I lacking. And then I used to text the questions I'm facing troubles to my friends. I used to practice, I started practicing sectionals which have been provided. And I think then it was like more like within 1 or 2 months I picked up the pace, like I wrote within good percentile cohort and LEmocks itself. And then like the legal section which I hated, I remember the last mock I gave in LE, it was like 2 or 3 days before CLAT, and I got 40/14 legal section, and I was like kind of amazed. Like I started with 9 or 10 in legal, and legal was kind of struck portion for me when I started with LEmocks. At the end, it was not like you're just stuck कि तुम्हें कुछ hint नहीं मिलेगा कि difficult आ रहा तो you wouldn't be able to do it. But the answer key, the explanations were provided in such a manner that you are led to a way कि तुम लोग यहाँ पे गलत जा रहे हो. If you're choosing this option, this is the mindset mistake that you have over here. So it was more like guiding path for me, not just for legal section only, but for even for other sections in a similar manner.
Okay. So what all materials did you receive in Super 30 and how did you utilize it at the optimum level?
Okay, so first of all, the thing we used to conduct, like within Super-30, few of us as friends, we used to conduct vocabulary jam. So that was like I didn't have like very good vocabulary skills. So that was again doing vocab as a fun thing with the friends that helped me. And it was more on unofficial level. And then again, the Ellie's monthly companion, which was provided, like there were questions provided with that. I used to revise the I used to revise all the current affairs material provided, and at the end of the month or something, I used to go through the questions like "मुझे कितना याद" and how much I need to work upon more. So again, that monthly companion was really helpful for me. Then GK Fiesta thing, that was like they used to provide topic list, and it was like you need to complete that topic. You have the test, you need to complete the topic, and then going through the test, going through the analysis session, you get a lot of new things to add upon in your GK part. And again, the sessions we have, especially the sessions where we used to discuss our general problems, right? And it was more like at that moment you have some specific problems, right? It's not like तुम्हारा सब कुछ पूरा जा रहा है. It's like you have specific problems. And then I think it was more like I used to connect with teachers like I'm having this issue, just help me out. And it was more like it was really helpful for me in that manner.
Okay. So what will be your what was your strategy in the last 4 months so that
Okay.
our kids can also follow something and then they can also crack CLAT 2024?
Yes, sure. So for the last 4 months, it was basically my major focus was writing mocks, and I think at that when we had our frequency of early mocks increased. Even it I think within last 3 or 4 months it was shifted to like 2 mocks per week. So I used to focus because at that moment it was not like I was stuck with any particular section. It was like I had minor issues within each and every section. So I used to write a lot of mocks. I used to analyze them. I used to write like 2 or 3 mocks within a week itself, and I used to analyze them very well. And then again, within those 3 to 4 months, my focus shifted from revising the GK from the very beginning, from the June to January part. So those 4 months was particularly attempting mocks, finding out the mistakes. Suppose I wrote 2 to 3 mocks within a week, I would be analyzing what are the common errors I'm committing in this mocks. Then for the next 1 or 2 weeks, that would be the focus part for me. I would try to improve those sections by going through my previous mocks I have attempted, or going through the sectionals, like these are the problems I'm facing, these are the things I have to work upon. And along with that, it was GK backlog revision. I went through the questions asked in previous mocks. I started from the mocks I had given earlier, and then going through the test being taken in LE itself, GK Fiesta things. It was more about like it was a revision phase for me. And again, there are people who might have started right now. Guys, don't worry. Like 4 months is sufficient time. Like you can work upon your things, right? Start writing mocks as soon as possible. Analyze them really well. You will get your mistakes after analyzing your mocks. And again, if there is a person writing mocks without analysis, that's of no use at all. Analyze your mock, and then if you're writing one mock within a week, find out your mistakes you have committed in the mock, and then your next week needs to be committed to solving that mistakes. So it was more like I used to compare my performance in the mocks I had taken before starting my like preparatory stage, and then after when I had done with my preparatory stage. So it was more like sorting out the minor issues I was struggling with.
Okay. So anything that I might not have asked, but you want to add on, or any tips for our students?
Yeah, again, like obviously you might match with me, or you might this was the problem I faced a lot. Like, you might match with me, you might match with a lot of students who are going through toppers talk or something like that. But guys, it's like, you guys, all of you would have your own strategies. Please don't compare yourself with anybody. This was the thing I used to do at very beginning, that this topper this said this thing, I need to follow it, I need to follow that. So it was, everyone has the different strategies, right? For me, GK was like, I used to cover thoda portion on a daily basis. But for someone, it might work that they can sit for 2 to 3 days and cover a huge stuff of GK within 2 to 3 days. So it's your like pitch. You need to gather things for us. You have to test upon yourself in case you are able to work upon that, in case that works for you. But don't compare yourself with anybody. Don't feel like she has started preparation, say 1 year before, so we won't be able to do it within 4 months. Everybody has their own pace, and in if you would make efforts, it would be doable for you. So that was the thing. Like, I used to watch topper sessions, and I was like, obviously those were really helpful. I need, it's more like you have to pick up the things that work for you from each and everybody session. You don't have to like follow everything, right? So that is the thing I would definitely mention at this point. And then there's, please be confident of yourself. It's more like, you can do it. Like, you have been doing, you have studied a lot till this moment. Just apply, be confident. You will be able to do it.
थैंक यू सो मच अर्पणजोत, आपने हमारे लिए
Thank you.
इतना टाइम निकाला. थैंक यू सो मच.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.